Danny Bensky, a survivor of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's horrific abuse, testified this morning before the Senate Judiciary Committee as part of Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's confirmation hearing. She spoke of her name appearing in not just one, but 3 Epstein file releases that Blanche oversaw.
These documents contain disturbing yet incomplete accounts of my abuse. They were available not only for the entire world to see, but my child, my students, my friends, my employers, my colleagues, and my family. It was humiliating. Worse, my FBI 302 exposed a Jane Doe who had fought for decades to conceal her identity. It's been absolutely devastating. Crime victims deserve better from the nation's highest level of law enforcement officials. We deserve to be heard directly, not dismissed and ignored. There are numerous investigative leads that must be followed, despite Mr. Blanche's claim that there are none.
And just moments ago, Republican Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina said he expects Blanche to meet with survivors before a vote out of the committee. Let's bring in Jess Michaels. She is a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein and has been inside that committee room listening to this hearing. Jess, thank you so much for your time and your continued bravery in speaking out with reporters, with the public, urging officials to do more on your behalf and the entire community of women who have done so much to keep this story front of mind. I want to ask you first what message you and other survivors are right now hoping to get across to senators about who Todd Blanche is and if you think they're listening to you right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Antonia, for having me on. What we are trying to get through to senators is that procedures were not followed for the last 30 years. This investigation was flawed, covered up. We know that there are names that are in the files that should be exposed, that were covered up by this Deputy Attorney General. And we're ready to talk to somebody if anybody will listen. We can tell you there are leads in these files, and we're hoping that senators will listen.
You know, to that point that you stand ready to meet, to talk about possible threads and leads here, I want you to take a listen to what Todd Blanche said yesterday when he was questioned about possibly meeting with survivors. And frankly, these exchanges, they confused a lot of the public. Take a listen.
Chairman, I appreciate them being here today. I also have somebody from my office who's spent her entire career working on cases like Mr. Epstein's. She's in charge of our task force investigating human trafficking. She's available to talk to them.
She can sit right next to you. She can sit right next to you when you meet with these survivors.
I have never said I will not meet with survivors.
Will you meet with these 10 survivors? I'm asking you on the record.
If they have lawyers, as you know, I'm prohibited from meeting directly with them.
Jess, why do you think it was so hard for him to just say, yes, I will? Especially given the fact that we know Todd Blanche flew down to Florida and met with Ghislaine Maxwell, of all people, in person.
One of the tactics we've seen is avoiding investigation. So, for example, I gave leads back in 2019 for 2 people to follow, one that had been in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit for over 18 years, and one that could corroborate that she also knew this same person. And I know directly that those leads were never followed. And so what we feel like we're seeing over and over again is leads not being followed, nothing being followed up. And one of the things that Danny Bensky did so fabulously is that she discussed what procedure is supposed to look like. As victims of crimes, we are supposed to show up to the FBI, give our information. It turns into what's called a 302, and then that 302, someone from the Department of Justice is supposed to reach out to you when they're investigating federal crimes. And none of us have had anyone reach out to us. So to say that even we should be going down the street and talking to DOJ, that's not how the process works.
To be honest, if for someone who may not have been following this case closely, if you listened to Todd Blanche speak yesterday, you might be left with the impression that actually the survivors, some of them and their attorneys had almost forgotten to reach out, hadn't made the effort, or that some of you had tried to meet with him without properly bringing your attorneys along for the process. Is there any truth to that at all, that you haven't followed the procedures that his office would expect?
No, and what is really astounding is that someone with his reputation of being a prosecuting attorney is that the attorneys that he has been talking to have been civil attorneys. That's very different than how a criminal investigation is done. The two things are separate, and so it's convoluting the issue, and it's making it seem as if the processes were done appropriately, and we are saying they have not.
Can you tell me just the nature of some of the outreach? You described your own effort back in 2019 to give 2 different leads. I know that you are not the only survivor who has tried to share information, but tell me a little bit more about what that is like when you try to reach out and say, here, these are the names you can call, the people you should follow, the leads to hunt down, and then you hear nothing. Describe to me a little bit more of the behind the scenes so people really understand how blatant that is.
Yes, so I called when the FBI put up their hotline tip. I'm a 1991 Jeffrey Epstein survivor. I'm the earliest publicly known survivor. And when I called, the FBI had a process where they sent the tips over to Southern District of New York's sex trafficking task force. And then those detectives call us back. And the gentleman, when I told him I was raped by Jeffrey Epstein in 1991, but that's not the reason I'm calling you. I'm calling you because the girl that brought me to Jeffrey Epstein, at the time, I thought she had been working to him for at least 10 years. Later to find out it was over 18. So I'm telling him all this, and he said, well, it was 30 years ago. What do you want us to do about it now? And I said, no, you asked me to call you. That detective, I went back and forth with for a year. It would take me calling the FBI, this detective, Southern District of New York, it would take a year and a half before an FBI agent ever called me back. When I expressed my frustration, her immediate response was, that never should have happened. I'm so sorry. I'm ready to listen to anything you want to say. I spent about an hour of her time on the phone with her, telling her everything I knew, not just about what happened to me, but about this other girl and about the other corroborating witness. And she took all of that down and said that my victim statement would be part of the prosecution's case against Ghislaine Maxwell. I never heard from that FBI agent again.
Wow. Jess Michaels, thank you so much, not just for spelling out the reality and the step-by-step process here and all the work that you've put into it, but also I know that this cannot be easy to revisit, and I admire your strength. I'm so grateful for you being willing to speak with reporters and to keep this in the headlines. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Antonia.